Welcome back, guys, to the St. Clair Saints versus the Fanshawe Falcons. Game 2 of draft about to get underway. St. Clair taking game 1 relatively handedly, mid to late game. And we'll see how the draft changes going into game 2.
Absolutely, and we're not going to waste any time getting into it as well as the bands are underway. St. Clair back on the blue side once again. Fanshawe sticking with red, and of course the new champion just getting instantly banned. And then St. Clair, of course, getting rid of the possibility of their singed one trick coming in. Italy and Bard also down.
Yeah, Bard and Nidalee becoming very common in the metagame right now. Good team fighters, especially the Nidalee. If she can get going, those spears hurt. And Graves getting locked in early. You see that pretty often, especially when Nidalee gets banned.
Yeah, the days of remembering AP Nidalee when it can nearly one-shot an AD carry come late game. But no Nidalee this time by. We're going to see Graves, like you were saying, relatively common nowadays. Just decent clear, decent aggression. What can go wrong? And now Caitlyn, looking like it's going to get picked up here from the side of Fanshawe, locking in that bot lane already. Possibly both the bot laners. In theory, this would be a rather pokey bot lane if this goes through.
Yeah, Caitlyn Lux, very pokey, a lot of harass, and they can zone really well, especially with those Lux E's that come out. Not sure if there's a visual bug or if Fanshawe didn't ban a champ here. I'm not sure if that's just on my end.
It does look like that one is left blank, so there's a chance that they banned something that they didn't have a picture for. We'll figure out once the actual client draft begins, but on the side of St. Clair, it's going to be Senna locked in once again. Did fantastic last game. Rakan being hovered. Like I was saying before, we're so used to seeing Nautilus and now Thresh in the bot lane. And yeah, they're going to switch it back over.
Yeah, I think the Rakan was just a little mind game there. Karthus jungle, though, that is something.
This has me excited. I have not seen a Karthus in play for what feels like years. You're saying jungle Karthus?
I believe so. It usually is. It can be flexed into the mid lane, but we do see it quite often in the jungle with the Dark Harvest, as now Zoe also taken off the table.
Speaking of nearly getting one shot, yeah, Zoe getting picked off as well as Syndra from the earlier bans. Now we can see what St. Clair want off the table. Both their bans about to go underway. The hard engage from Malphite being taken away.
Yeah, Malphite can be really annoying, especially an AP Malphite. Little odd considering how much AP is already on Fanshawe's side,
right,
as they take out the Camille, the hard duelist in the top lane.
I know Frez plays a ton of ranked solo queue, and when he does, it's usually on Camille. So that might have been a bit of a targeted ban coming out of Fanshawe, looking to try and shut Frez down, because he dominated that top lane last time.
Yeah, definitely. There is a couple of flex picks. That Ornn is definitely going to the top lane, and that's a lot of engage. Again, still the Karthus and the Lux could be flexed into the mid. Karthus mid jungle, Lux obviously support. The Mordekaiser hover, that could definitely take away a lot of the playmaking from this Ornn.
Definitely be exciting. We haven't seen Frez on Mord yet, but of course not locked in yet. That could get switched up last second rather. And it is going to get locked in, so a new one here for this season opener. Oh, don't play with my heart.
Are we going to see the middle sticks?
The fiddlesticks hover. Just teasing me a little bit. Love this champion, but I highly doubt that it's going to be locked in. That's what I thought. Yeah, why you tease me like this? Why? But it's going to be Ori in the mid lane and Aurelia.
Aurelia almost guarantees that this Karthus will be going into the jungle. And with Syndra banned, Orianna is a very good mid laner. They both play a very similar style in terms of a team fight. Both hard pushing, Definitely clear those waves very fast to enable your jungle. But Irelia can do quite a bit with the dashes and does have a little bit of assassin work in there. So it's going to be another mage versus assassin in the mid lane. But again, Karthus is very scary once he hits level 3 as well.
But fiddlesticks. No, unfortunately, not actually competitively viable. I wish, but definitely it all makes sense. A solid team composition coming out here from St. Clair. An interesting one on the side of Fanshawe, to say the least, as we now take a look at what would be the actual in-game. And we get to see, oh, it was a Lilia ban, so okay, just Pro Draft didn't have that figured out. So yeah, Trick had been playing a ton of Lilia, so that definitely makes sense. And it makes sense then why the Graves was picked up as well.
Yeah, definitely, as we see all the champs falling into their respective lanes, we'll definitely get confirmation as to what's going where. Yep. There's the Karthus jungle.
You're right. Yeah, the Karthus jungle. And then in the mid lane, we're probably going to see it would be the Irelia then, right? So OPSE picking up where he left off from aggressive champion to aggressive champion.
Yeah, the Irelia resets on those dashes. She can definitely make her way into the back line. A little bit harder to do that in the jungle, though.
Like, I mean, I was throwing smokes last game and I was still getting hooked, so I might as well just drop it and use some other utility. Because OPSE, how many times do we see him get picked out of a shroud?
Yeah, those hooks were absolutely bananas coming out of Fanshawe last game.
And then I do like the adjustments here from the side of Fanshawe with Bungus picking up Caitlyn instead. Something a little less skill shot oriented, and something that like will still like kind of scale as the game goes on, and not have to rely so heavily on landing those skill shots and whatnot. And gives you a little bit of extra grass during the laning phase as well, especially with Lux, who might as well be a secret AP carry in the support role at some points. Depending on how you build her, of course.
Yeah, one thing to note is Graves' auto attacks can be face tanked. It hits whatever is in front of it, unlike the auto attacks of pretty much any other champion.
Right.
And that'll be a huge thing if Ornn can get in his face.
Yeah, definitely something to take note. Granted, if Trick manages to jump onto one of the squishies, then by God, they're going to be taking some damage. But yeah, if Ornn, or depending on how OPSE looks to build this Irelia, jump in front of him instead, could definitely get a little less value out of that Graves. However, looking at the St. Clair composition this time, the ball delivery service coming out is a little bit harder to pull off. You don't have anybody with a like major dash unless Fanshawe gets a hook onto somebody and he pulls himself in with the ball on top of him. Otherwise, just Graves and Mord are kind of just walking in. Graves, yeah, he has a little dash, but like nothing to close major distance.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see, once laning phase ends, Mordekaiser just delete people from those objective fights. Looking at Cavalry on the Karthus there, if that ult is timed very well, Karthus will not be able to touch a dragon or a baron with his smite.
I mean, may not be able to touch it with a smite, but depending on how close he is, he could probably still dish a little extra damage after death. So not all is completely lost, but of course his abilities are not going to do anywhere near as much as the smite. But definitely a different style coming out here from Fanshawe. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Look to see a couple of QSS items built for some of the champions like Caitlyn, like Irelia, to get rid of those Thresh hooks, as well as the Mordekaiser ults, if that comes into play.
throwing it back to us for a few moments as we get ready to hop into this next round. So, what do you think about Lux as a support? Personally, I feel like she's the kind of champion that's, like back in the day where, I got stuck in the support role. I'm gonna play Lux support, guys, and meanwhile you build her like full AP. What is there anything that's come around for her to be more suited for support?
I still think she's more suited as a mid laner. I recently watched a Lux one trick against a Fizz who absolutely took control of the lane, which I was surprised because
Right.
Lux have so much mobility. But you still do tend to see some mage supports coming out. Usually it's something like a Morgana that has that incredibly long snare.
Right.
But I believe the Lux can work. It's similar but different style of utility. You can stun 2 enemies as opposed to 1 for double the length. You have the slow, you have a little bit of shield. But when it comes down to it, Lux plays very similar, I feel, to a Brand in terms of just zone, get your ADC to just farm, and then let the ADC do the work as soon as you get a single bit of CC down.
As it gets to the later game, then, like, would she be still strictly putting support items on there, or is she going to sacrifice some of that for damage items?
You do sacrifice a little bit of utility for the damage. Something you wouldn't be surprised to see a Luden's Echo being built on Lux, even in the support role.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, of course, for for commentating in general here today, but bringing the extra knowledge, being a consistent knowledge here of League of Legends. As I know personally, I am absolutely all over the place. That's why I keep asking you all these questions, because of all these little details what makes this game so amazing. I'm thankful that you could point them out for us.
Yeah, I do my best. I'm not the most proficient League of Legends player, but what is this level 1 coming out from St. Clair?
And we're going to have to see it because this is a little cheeky. So we switch on in, and we see everybody running it top, oddly enough.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
It'd be very interesting. This could absolutely scare. Ooh, was the Ori ball a little too early?
Oh, Hook misses its mark too, so at this point they have to know what's going on, right?
Yeah, Ornn definitely has to make that call out, and it looks like the red will be traded. Or Irelia might be in trouble here if they decide to push it.
Yeah, they're taking it all the way around the jungle. But not even really up. Okay, they put 1 ward in there. Getting with the red buff again, so a relatively tame invade coming out here from St. Clair as they fall back into their regular positions.
Yeah, probably a smart decision after the initial CC missed. I mean, what is Ornn gonna do? He at level 1, right?
Of course. There's always got to be one player spamming the emotes.
Yes, the Lux laugh.
Now in this mid lane, I feel like it's going to be essentially Deja Vu, even though it's a different champion on the side of OPSE, just going to be getting like constantly harassed up until the point that Yule runs out of mana, and then that might be OPSE's opportunity to poke a little bit extra. But
yeah, she is just a little harder to hit because of how fast she can really move inside the minion wave, of course.
Right. Quick little level 2 there for Yule as well, so that pressure is just going to keep on going. Same thing up top here. Frez going to just trade out some damage, or going to keep it even at least.
Mordekaiser shreds with that extra shield he gets too. It's absolutely ridiculous the damage he can put out early game as well.
Bit of an invade coming out from Cavalry. Very confident, but at the same time, I guess you do see Trick on the other side as well, so they are just trading red buffs. We thought they were going to trade them a little bit earlier. This right call, but a little bit later on. as we do see Cavalry still hanging down bots. And Trick move towards his blue.
A little thing to note is the Guardian rune on the Lux. That's a little bit more of the support style you see instead of the Arcane Comet or the Summon Airy that the Zoning Lux would bring to the table.
That is just so odd to me. Of course, I'm still trying to get used to this whole new Keystone system. But I feel like if you were going for this zony poke kind of support, wouldn't you want to kind of just go all in with that style? It feels like if you're strictly going for a support style, that there's many other champions to do the job, especially when you had something like you were saying before where Morgana plays a very similar role but is just more supporty.
You'd be surprised. The Morgana also takes Guardian when she does
right.
the in the support role. So it's not very rare to see it, but it does lose a little bit of damage, but gives you an extra bit of shield and sustain overall. As both sides just farming it out, a pretty big farm discrepancy in the top lane again. Almost double the farm at this point in the game.
Yeah, their usual top laner was not available apparently for this match, so Boar coming in from reserves to try and take on Frez here, but like we've been seeing the past 2 games, it's definitely been a struggle. Getting solo killed a couple times. Eventually, as the game went on, in his last game as Urgot, he was pretty well like a non-factor as it got to the mid game. I don't remember seeing a single play coming from him really. It was just a big old beefy boy in the front line, but of course this one's still early. We gotta see what they can do for Boar up in the top lane.
Yeah, but we figure now as he's on the Ornn, his job is to just be a beefy boy in the front lane. However, the later this game goes on, you're going to start to see those forge items come in, which will make a little bit of an item discrepancy no matter what happens, aside from, of course, the infinite scaling of the Senna and the Thresh, to kind of counteract some of those boosted stats from something like a boosted Sunfire Cape or a Death Crown, for instance.
Right, I think as the assistant coach Tommy would put the ornaments on your teammates and make them go absolutely crazy. But meanwhile, this bot lane, Mansfu's hook kind of just smokes a minion. But there's a roam possibility here as Cavalry is here, but also Yule. So 3-on-3, but it's just going to be a double disengage from both sides. That being said, Lassie could just keep healing up Mansfu so but surely and can get him back into this fight nice and quick.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Senna. It does cost quite a bit of mana to pop those Qs, but you get so much sustain out of it that it's definitely worth it. And again, a skirmish here, and Ornn having to disengage, does have access to the Ram, the Call of the Forge God, but gonna save that for a team fight or a gank potential.
Yeah, at least in regards to experience, Boar is right there with Frez. Saying neck and neck, level 6 to level 6. Yeah, if he's not careful, this CS discrepancy is going to get brutal.
Into this Shadow round, Call of the Forge God does come out, will hit, but again, under tower, they will have to disengage within the Shadow realm.
Yeah, that was a panic ult if I've ever seen one from Boar, thinking that Frez was possibly going to make the tower dive happen. And Frez baits it out and then just backs right all the way back up, forcing the TP since that lane's getting pushed in. But while all this was happening, Trick all by himself, just taking care of a dragon.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Graves. Got a lot of lifesteal, and just being able to dash and reset those shotgun shells makes a huge difference. A stun coming out of Ozzy, the Ignite, the ultimate, everything coming out, the flash, and first blood under the tower for Fanshawe.
Okay, Ozzy showing his skills there in that solo kill onto Yule. That's definitely a rough spot for Yule to be in. He did land the shockwave, but it did not matter. Just did not have the damage and could not survive that. Nicely done, Ozzy.
Yeah, the Corrupting Pot coming into play there to give her the boosted damage and the boosted health regen within the first quarter, I believe, of the potion.
And this is a site that we're probably going to be seeing for a while, just Prez landing these pulls and just being able to beat on Boar.
Yeah, it's a rough time for Boar in the top lane, just getting absolutely smacked and not able to do much, as he's down almost 30 CS at 8 minutes so far.
Definitely painful. Granted, Cavalry's right around the corner, but he's basically dead at this point. Boar looking for the play nonetheless, and Trick is right here as well. They have to disengage this.
Yeah, not having the vision of the Karthus, just seeing the Wall of Pain come out is enough to scare somebody away. That's like a 90% slow,
Yeah.
and they had no vision over how much health Karthus really had.
Yeah, but forced to disengage, and now he's going to be... If Frez just freezes us right here, that's a rough spot to be in. So, probably going to do that, going to nearly be doubling him on CS at this point. Is definitely
Another engage.
Oh, Deja Vu, that shockwave tickles, basically, for Ozzy.
Yeah, Yule not having too many items, just the 2 Amp Tomes so far. Rift Herald did get picked up by Trick there, so we will be able to put some more pressure onto some of these turrets, probably in the top lane as some of the pings do come out.
And so getting aggressive, Hook going to be just barely too short.
Yeah, the early net coming out of Caitlyn is very smart play, just to be safe.
Absolutely, and that bot lane is so even at this point. That can definitely go either way. The ult popped once again here by Ozzy, kind of trapping Yule, but he's not going to be able to get out of this one. No flash available, shield already burned. Taken down again. Yule's gonna be having a hard time.
Yeah, no shockwave either just yet at that point. Still on cooldown. There is a skirmish in the jungle. Trick burned his flash, and Cavalry still chasing. Does have access to the ult as well, so everybody got to be careful.
Yeah, and of course that Requiem at this point basically just tickles everybody a little bit, but at the same time, that is something to take in consideration, that Cavalry at any point can damage everybody on the field on the opposing side. Wombo combo coming out, going to chunk for half. So, good damage coming out from 2Pump.
Yeah, that final spark chunks no matter what level you are.
Just a noob question, can Senna heal herself if she aims that properly?
All she has to do is hit anything.
Just anything.
Including power, and it heals her and whatever she hits.
Yeah, so because of that, they're not going to be too scared at all to try and take this fight. Cavalry is here. Lassy's going to get out with barely a tiny bit of life. Never mind, 2Pump's Ignite. Going to be enough. Fungus Blast going down. Saints trying to pull this around. 2Pump extremely low. Flashes away. And we've got low health bars all over this field as Requiem comes out to try and slow the Saints down. But as everything was happening here in this bot lane and top, Ozzy's been having a field day on that mid turret.
Yeah, up 2 kills and now getting a few turret plates under his belt and not able to execute a tower dive. There goes the Rift Herald. So a bunch of plates will be coming back. This is trying to snowball Trick as hard as possible.
Definitely makes sense, but doing a solid job so far. But a much more... Yeah, looking at the gold, actually, completely dead even once those tower plates were taken out. 18.7 on both ends. This one's going to be a back and forth. The bot lane could be anybody's match. Yes, we know up in the top lane it's going to be going over to Frez. However, the mid lane, it seems to be all Ozzy right now. And junglers, oddly enough, seem extremely even at this point.
Yule sniffing out the dragon, but he might be too late.
Oh,
that
very
was
close.
close.
Oh, almost a steal, but now that's one dragon apiece for each team as well.
Yes, we're back to another Cloud Soul and Cloud Map this time. Once again, Irelia's gonna have a field day with that. Already going fast with those dashes, and she can just run you down. As we have a fight breaking out in the bot lane, Thresh stepping on a trap, has to get healed up. Will get chased down. The ace in the hole coming out. Good block there by Lazzy.
Yeah, that is some unanswered damage coming out there from Fanshawe. It's going to be forcing Lazzy to blow through all that mana to try and top him back off nice and quick. But by doing so, he's going to have pretty much no resources if an engage happens later on.
Yeah, luckily has the more mana. Stun coming in, some damage. You know, Caitlyn on has no mana. Oh, staying alive, but the final spark does get the kill. Can Lazzy bring it back? The stun, the trap, the stun back, but Lux getting both those kills. She is on a killing spree, also with a Fiendish Codex in hand.
Oh, hello! Nicely done from Yule, and the TP coming out. Frez going to give him the bonk in the noggin to get that shutdown.
The kill being donated over to Frez, the shutdown, and he's already got a Leandri's Torment and a huge farm lead. Mordekaiser and Ori might be the win condition here, should the bot lane continue like this.
Yeah, so I didn't realize they were playing AP carry bot and support Caitlyn, but that seems to be the way this lane is going here, as 2Pump picks up every kill down there, but unfortunately for Fanshawe, after having such a fantastic play, punishing St. Clair for an extremely over-aggressive play, they stayed a little bit too long. Did not realize that mid laner's kind of missing. But Ozzy's going to take his chances and is going to completely demolish Frez.
Yeah, it did burn both of their summoners there, the Ignite and the Flash to secure that, but, you know, 400 gold's 400 gold.
Oh, this is going to be another one of those games where can we shut down Ozzy, or is Ozzy going to be able to run amok? But at the same time, 2Pump's right behind them, and Bungus is not doing too bad either. So some more threatening targets across the board here from Fanshawe as we get ourselves another engagement here in the red jungle. As one's going to go down, but Cavalry's going to pop the Requiem, add some additional damage. The heal coming up just in time. Support Caitlyn coming in, saving the life of 2Pump, and that's going to force Lassie to run for the hills. Going to just try and kite Boar as best as possible. The Boar does have a level advantage. Got to see if they continue to chase this. Looks like going to get on a turret just fine.
Yeah, Lux surviving on just a sliver of HP, but again, a great initiation with the hook, trying to turn that around because Thresh was definitely caught out a little bit. But a double stun coming out from Senna almost did turn around that entire fight.
Was extremely close, but the fact that 2Pump didn't go down there is just mind-boggling. But fantastic play from the Fanshawe bot lane.
Yeah, now getting vision around this second Herald. Cavalry is poised to start taking it, or at least start a gank on that top side.
2Pump's not far behind as well. That could be a 3-on-2, maybe even a 4-on-2 if we see Ozzy making his way back up. Tower dive possibility. That being said, there's not exactly tanky people to really try and take turret hits for too long. Probably be getting Ozzy to do it, but looks like Ozzy is building more damage than tanky at the moment, which by all means, you have the lead, go for it. And he's going to try and push that as tries to take some on mid. However, Yule's going to turn this with the help of Ozzy, and they're going to close this one out nice and quickly, as that's a huge shutdown going over to Ozzy.
Yeah, beautiful chain CC coming out there between the Shockwave and the Senna Stun to lock down the Irelia in place and get that shutdown.
With that, St. Clair looking to push this mid turret down. It's already about a quarter of the way down. That's a hook onto Cavalry. That's a squishy Karthus down to half HP already. Trick with the flash, misses the Q, doesn't need it. Finishes it off with the ultimate.
Yeah, good flash engage from the jungle. Beautiful flank. Gets the Karthus to go down, and that's pretty much a free dragon if it has spawned. I believe it has.
Definitely on their way there, and of course the fact cavalry's down means this is going to be basically uncontested, especially as more and more members of Fanshawe are starting to get harassed here. I think Clair finally breaking themselves a 1,000 gold lead in this game. Oh, greedy.
Caught out Trey.
Extremely
Ace in the hole
greedy.
coming out. ADCs trade their ultimates there, but nobody does go down. And a flash.
Okay, taking a breather for a second. Now, of course, Trick does have some solid lifesteal, so it's going to probably just be able to farm his camps and be completely healthy. It's weird the amount of rotations that we're seeing right now from the bot lane, or from both bot lanes, rather, as they're just leaving that bot side completely alone. Just going to leave Boar all by himself to possibly catch back up in some CS. But this is a bit of an overextension. That's going to be a huge shockwave, and it's going to hold Ozzy down. Yes, you are doing fantastic. However, can this be enough? It is, in fact, going to be enough to take out Yule. So, okay, they trade.
Yeah, Senna not in range to give the heal over to Yule, but and therefore the Requiem will take him down. Looks like they'll pick up the Scuttle Crab as well, just before the Baron spawns. Frez doesn't realize that Ward is back right behind him.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Now just some vision clearing as both teams decide to reset, checking in on the gold, still very, very even.
Yeah, well, that was a 1,000 gold lead. Not anymore. Fanshawe keeping Sinclair honest with them, and considering that it was like a 5,000 gold lead at close to 13 minutes, I think it was, last game, this is definitely a much better game, much better style coming out here from Fanshawe, with them being able to kind of boost their bot lane as well as their mid lane this time, instead of it just being all onto Ozzy's shoulders. And to be honest, Boar is not far behind as well, getting the one kill and only a couple CS behind now. No longer being doubled.
Yeah, still all big kill there by Frez onto Cavalry. Has to be careful. He's in the Death Realm with Ornn. The Call of the Forge God coming out will do some damage, but it tickles.
Frez has to be careful. Sure enough, never mind. It's actually going to be 2-pump that's going to get caught out. A little bit of an odd pathing job, and that's going to give Sinclair 2 kills off of just a bit of an uncharacteristic pathing error, just getting caught out of nowhere.
Yeah, good support coming in from Lazzy and Myansfo, getting the positioning for the Death Realm to expire and him not being caught out entirely.
Looking to push mid. If they're not careful, they'll have to deal with Ozzy in a moment, and this would be a 3-on-3 that they might be able to win. They're going to try it. The teleport coming in. Ace in the hole, going to shut down Mansfo. Taking him out nice and quick. However, Ozzy's got to run for the hills. Doesn't matter. Mansfo going to get the kill from the grave with that Ignite. That's going to be another one. Bungus getting the boop this time. Still going forward. Cavalry's right there, but at the same time, so is Yule. Looking for a possible shockwave. It may have already happened, actually, but not see it go down. Disengage forced.
Disengage, and now stealing away some of these camps, fighting for, you know, the most coveted of camps.
What?
But, wow, Yule just got absolutely blown up by Boar and 2-pump, and that's... And it is a support build on this Lux, going with the Athenes, and I believe either a Shurelia's or a Redemption.
That's the choice to go that way has me scratching my head big time. I don't know if there was a miscommunication between Yule and the rest of the Saints team, like that they were going to try and possibly pincer that. But yeah, you're just a juicy Oriana walking up to, what, 3 or 4 members of Fanshawe. Of course they're going to blow you up. And with that, Boar's going to get his second kill of the game. Compared to last game, he's right on par. He's has been farming for the last little bit. However, he got 2 kills under his belt. So he's actually going to be a beefy boy in the front line that actually means something and is not just there, like, existing, being a bullet sponge, and an extra added benefit of course, giving your team some better items. But he's actually going to mean something.
Yeah, already has the upgraded Abyssal Mask. Here comes another pinch onto the Irelia, and great stopwatch there from Frez.
And nicely done, and a wise, I think it may have seemed like overkill, but wise to use the Senna ultimate to get the finishing blow there, because God forbid you get too close and Irelia jumps on you and just one-shots you. So, fair play from the St. Clair squad, going to give Lassie his 4th kill in this game. With 8 assists on top of that, he's just absolutely dancing in gold.
Yeah, already completed the Muramana and the Edge of Night. Already got everything for the rapid fire cannon, as well as Yule will take the blue buff to get that infinite mana pool real quick, as well as the Seraph's Embrace. So she has a ton of mana to work with.
Absolutely fantastic. Of course, you've got the damage, you've got the heals. As this team fight goes longer, it'll be better and better as long as Lassie doesn't get blown up right away. That being said, there are many members of that Fanshawe team that can easily team up and take care of Lassie at any moment. As this is a pretty interesting one. We're just going to clear some wards and just go for Baron.
Yeah, bold Baron call, especially with Karthus and Irelia up with the upgraded Blade of the Ruined King.
Uh-oh. Dignitas, this isn't you, is it? This could be rough. Rez is caught. He's going to be zoning everybody, and he's zoned Cavalry, so that's actually a critical one. Has no smites anyway. This Baron didn't go down. They lost Frez, and this could be a possible re-engage, as Ozzy also has the flank. He's going to opt to go in, and the rest of the squad are going to be there shortly. However, with Ozzy being so far ahead, nearly goes down, but Bungus is actually going to pick up another kill. What on earth was that call?
I think it was supposed to be a bait, but it definitely went wrong, and they're going to donate the Baron over to Fanshawe. And look at that healing on Irelia, too. She's going to be absolutely terrified.
Oh, St. Clair possibly looking for a re-engage. They do hook on to Cavalry. It does have the smite available this time, too, so it could be big time worth. They had Cavalry hanging on by a thread. Trick is right there along the outside, looking to possibly get a steal. This is getting low. Can they steal it? No. Cavalry taking care of that. And now, one bad Baron call. And actually, nicely done there as Lassie also goes down. Bungus somehow just got supercharged and is picking up a bunch of kills after what could have been a bait, like we were talking about. Just a mini throw in itself, but it's still it's not as bad as I make it sound.
Yeah, that was a 2,000 gold swing, and now the Molten Edge picked up by the Caitlyn as the ornament's starting to come in. It's going to be scary if she can just dish out damage from the backline. The only real tank on St. Clair is Frez and a little bit from the Thresh. I don't know if it's enough.
No, I'm looking at the itemization, and sure, you get a little bit of armor from Zanya's, I believe, and then I think that's additional armor further down the line. But yeah, it's a bit of a squishier front line from St. Clair. They all need to be like on board together. I feel like kind of deathballing it if they're going to try and pull this off. Because yeah, sure, you got the heals from Lassie to try and keep everybody alive, but you got to be close to all get the benefits. And now, because of such a poor play near the Baron, someone who was basically a non-factor this game, Bungus, has now become an additional threat that St. Clair have to worry about. So at this point, you basically have to worry about the entire Fanshawe team. Going to make target selection a little bit awkward.
Fungus picks up 4 kills. Started 0-3, picks up 4 kills, and is now completely online in this game. As we poise now for the dragon. St. Clair is on Soul Point, however. Cloud Soul would be pretty good. Get the Thresh to make some moves towards a nice pull, as well as Graves and Mordekaiser movement would be also pretty strong with the Soul.
Absolutely, they try to death brush it there a little bit, but they're going to be answered. Caught out and forced away.
Super scary now as Karthus picks up the Rabadon's Death Crown. The only thing left to upgrade is probably that Redemption on the Lux. TP coming in. Oh! Caitlyn takes the Dragon for Fanshawe. Ace in the hole coming out, as well as the Call of the Forge God. Another ultimate coming up from Irelia. Final spark, everything being invested. Somehow everybody's still alive. Prez will get the shutdown onto Aussie. Redemption coming out. Ooh, just enough to heal out of the Requiem. And a Redemption back and forth. Not sure that one was needed. Fungus gets his 5th kill. And that is a trade in favor of St. Clair, mid laner for the support. But it's not done yet. These extended team fights still going.
Wow, like that was pretty much the engagement that Fanshawe wanted, but they only managed to snag one, and the support of all things. They're gonna try this again. Nice little combo there from 2Pump, duking the back line of St. Clair, forcing them to run back, and that's gonna be another turret gone. It's okay, overall in this engagement, so it was Bungus who secured the dragon. They traded 1-for-1 on kills, and then they got a turret. So okay, Fanshawe, you're looking good.
Yeah, one of those scary things to note is if the Lux decides to get a damage item, the cooldown on Final Spark can be as low as 30 seconds.
That's definitely brutal. Throw one out before the team fight starts, throw one out during, and throw one out as a finisher. Why not? Try it out. It's always fantastic to have such powerful ability on such a small cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying. And if Karthus decides to make a play towards the top side, he does have the support and could gank Frez. I believe Frez has the Death Realm up just in case. Baron buff has expired, but again, a change in about 3,000 gold on that Baron power play.
Yeah, so looks like Baron will be the next thing objective-wise on the map for these teams to try and contest. Fanshawe's been showing that they can make some of these team fights work for them. And they've definitely got the items and the gold to be able to push themselves further and further ahead, as long as they don't get themselves picked out before the team fights. St. Clair are going to be probably looking for some stray picks to get things moving. They're definitely going to have to worry about trying to go even 5-on-5, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Frez is going to have to start getting even more selective with his ultimates, because the QSSs have come out for the 2 AD champions on the side of Fanshawe.
Okay, so QSS will get you out of the Death Realm?
Yes, as long as you're in the Death Realm, you just disappear from it, and the ult is done.
Completely eliminating that ultimate right off the bat could be brutal, but then at the same time, who do you take out of there? Maybe Cavalry, but at the same time, Cavalry doesn't mind dying in the middle of a team fight, so it's a little bit of an odd back and forth between these teams now that Fanshawe's itemizing properly, and more of these ornament items coming out. Fanshawe is looking so scary.
Lux.
Okay, they're going to tag the Baron, and St. Clair, I don't know if they actually know this is going down. They knew that somebody was around there. They do spot it out now, so they're going to be forced to move. However, 2Pump doing a decent job of keeping everybody zoned out. The Ornhorn coming out as well. Mansfu going to try and get the hook. Does find one, blowing up Cavalry instantly, but he's going to pop his Requiem anyway. He'll still be effective in this fight, and there are a lot of low health bars on the side of St. Clair. Yule going down because of it. Frez is so far away. 2Pump was the one he death realmed and trying to duel him out, and he's going to be successful in doing so. That's just going to be the Zanya's coming out, but it's going to be another kill. St. Clair is still with 3 members looking to push this, but there are still some healthy members on the side of Fanshawe going to be able to shut this down. They stopped the Baron, but it's an even trade.
Stop the Baron. Definitely want to push towards now the Dragon about to spawn in about 10 seconds, and Cavalry is still down for another 15. There's going to be a big team fight about to happen, and can St. Clair with these low health bars make it work? A good stun.
Okay, it's going to be Bungus stunned up for a second there. However, now we're playing a little bit of footsies around the Dragon Pit. It is there, ready for the taken. Ornhorn coming out once again. Could it land on anybody? I don't think it quite has. Mansfu is going to be flashing in aggressively, actually. They're going to try and go for this. Mansfu going to get popped. Tricked is going to get blasted by the final spark. Balazi is in the background as well. Going to try and trade this out. Boar is just an absolute unit in this front line, though, keeping his entire team safe as they push towards the Dragon.
He's barely killable at this point. And the Dragon could still get stolen. No. It's now a 7 Dragon. And the flash over, and Lazzy gets taken out by the ultimate.
Oh.
Very quick play, and now they look towards the Baron with Trick down for the next 25 seconds and only 2 members up for St. Clair.
No, Frizz, you didn't want to do that. You're going to be going down. This Baron's going to be going over to Fanshawe for free unless Yule can make the hero play, which I'm not sure if that's even necessarily wise to go for. Going to have to just farm away, but okay, Fanshawe, they're going to get themselves the Baron at this 35-minute mark. Crazy, crazy long game here compared to game 1.
Items are about to spike so fast. As you see, a Forge Fire Cape coming out, a BF Sword additional for the Irelia, Mercurial Scimitar being completed for Bungus, and the Ardent Censor for 2Pump. And I don't... The items are very close still, but it is a 5k gold lead for Fanshawe.
Absolutely. Force down their inhibitor turrets. The ace in a hole, okay, it just barely gets through the shield, actually, so Bungus is not full of crazy damage in terms of abilities, but it's Caitlyn. It's all about those auto attacks anyway. We're going to be tanking all of this all the way into the base of St. Clair, sent down to half HP. Perez is going to just pop the Death Realm on him, however, and this is going to be wasted as he's just going to run away. Oh, that's huge.
Ooh, Caitlyn going down, Call of the Forge Guard, and Redemption coming out. Little bit of damage. Redemption out on both sides. Both teams are about full health, but it's a 5v4. A pull onto the Orn, but again, so tanky. Will they be able to knock him down?
Oh, absolutely fantastic there from Fanshawe. Boar is finally going to go down after a bit of an overextension, but a 2-for-3 trade unless Requiem can make this more. Oh man, this just got even after what looked like a misplay from Fanshawe. They at least bring it even.
A 3-for-3 trade, and all 3 kills going to Cavalry on the Carthage. The Shockwave not getting the kill, but look at Lazzy trying to make things happen. Gets the stun out, does some damage, the range. Unable to do enough, but does get 3 Baron buffs off for the cost of nothing, really, because I don't think they took a tower.
Nope, they got a little bit of damage onto it, but nothing too crazy. I don't think hunting them is the right idea here. Both of these champions can absolutely destroy you if they do decide to turn around. And what all you got is the shield from Orianna to try and keep you alive. And of course, Lassy's built-in heal, but when they can just pop you like that, then what are you doing?
Oh, and a TP coming from Boar. He's going to call the Forge God. I think he hit both of them with it. And this Baron is still... look at the size of that wall of pain.
And they do manage to get 2 pumping as an answer, but that's just the support for what's going to be probably 2 of your players. Brez goes down as well as Trick. Lassy's still looking to try and get back into this game, but there's some long respawn timers here. Fanshawe could be looking to bring this to a game 3 as the inhibitor goes down, and we're going to be getting Nexus turrets next.
Yeah, the Nexus turrets coming out, the Redemption dropping as well. Lots of pulls, lots of redemptions, the heals coming in, but it looks like this game will go to Fanshawe as they take both the turrets and the Nexus. No one spawned, and it's 1-1.
Absolutely fantastic there from Fanshawe. In that last team fight at the Nexus, Bunkus didn't even have to get involved with the actual team fight itself. He just sat there the entire time, blasted the turrets down. The rest of the team took care of it. Everybody on Fanshawe was a threat, and then the only person who wasn't necessarily a threat was Boar, but he forced himself this game to be the threat. He was always in your face, absorbing everything, somehow getting out by the skin of his teeth multiple times in that game, and beautifully done there from Fanshawe. Complete 180, complete turnaround by them for game number 2. I don't know about, might be muted here. There you go. That's okay.
Yeah, Ornn getting 4,000 health plus the Forge Fire Cape, which gives him, I think, 100 or 125 armor, which is absolutely insane. How do you even with the armor pen items, the Last Whispers, how do you get through that?
That was definitely difficult. Everybody was just on point that game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what game number 3 is going to bring us here between these two teams. They've both felt kind of one-sided, but for each team respectively. Now we get to see if this game 3 coming up next, the decider for this OPSE season opener. We'll get to see this one for all the marbles. Give us about 5 minutes, and we'll get back into the game. Stay tuned for game 3.